Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of Wrestling with Brent. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the AEW Dynamite episode from last night. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about NXT, a little bit more wrestling thoughts, and maybe a little bit about baseball. So, alright, here we go. Uh, to kick off AEW Dynamite last night, uh, started out with Cody Rhodes in the ring, along with Arn Anderson. His manager walked him out. Uh, Cody Rhodes' open TNT title challenge. Um, and there was a lot of rumors and speculation going into this particular challenge. Some rumors out there were saying it was Warhorse. He's a popular indie wrestler. Saw him wrestle a while back on YouTube. Very good. I like it. Hope he gets to wrestle soon. I also thought it could be Rusev because his contract is up. He's officially a free agent. Um, I also thought it could be Matt Kuroda, formerly Zack Ryder in WWE. Him and Cody Rhodes are good friends, and uh, his contract was also up at the same time as Rusev's was, and uh, there was talk that AEW could be signing him. So, but to my surprise, it was neither of the three. It was somebody I wasn't expecting. It was Eddie Kingston. For those who don't know who Eddie Kingston is, I saw him wrestle recently on NWA Power. I didn't think of him much as a wrestler. I mean, he's okay as a wrestler. He's decent. But right away, when I first saw him, he did a promo, and his promos are just excellent. I mean, his delivery, his facials, when he speaks, he sounds like he means it. He means what he's saying. I mean, you really think you could whip somebody's tail like he's going to do it. I mean, he's just very convincing, very good promo. So he comes out and cuts a really good promo on Cody. Said it's a no DQ match, so they have a good brawl. It was a good match. Uh, they was leaving a spot where he went under the ring and brought out a bag, Eddie Kingston, and everybody kept wondering what's in the bag, and he dug in it, shook it up, threw it on the ring, and it was thumbtacks. I was like, wow. He powerbombed Cody on the thumbtacks, and it looked really good, looked disgusting. Cody was bleeding out of his mouth. I thought that was cool. Uh, so, yeah, it was a good match. Yes, I really liked it. So, yep. I'm hoping Eddie Kingston also cut a promo later on after the show. He had posted on the internet. I thought it was really good, and I hope he ends up signing a long term for AEW. I really like him. Just for as a promo alone, I mean, he's excellent. I think he could really help AEW's roster out. Yep. Now we have John Moxley uh, cut a promo, and his promo was good. Uh, then also Taz came into the ring with Cage and cut a promo, and he basically didn't do like WWE does and BS the fans and try to like make you try to sell you something that wasn't true. He basically come out and admitted, I threw in the towel because I didn't want Cage's to hurt his shoulder again, and I liked it. I liked his promo. I thought it was good. He also made the point to say that Brian Cage will never be put in that position again, as being down on the mat for his shoulder like that, and that Taz would never throw that towel in again, and that he also knows that Cage wouldn't give up then, and he'll never give up. So I thought that was cool. Uh, Darby Allin comes up on the scene. I was excited to see him back. Everybody's like, oh, here we go. He's but walking and bringing his skateboard down to the ring. Out of nowhere, Ricky Starks blindsides him, comes back from behind him and just, I mean, drills him, creams him. I mean, and I think he legitimately, even going back and watching, I think he legitimately knocked him out. Like somebody else had pointed out, if you notice, when after he hit him, he kind of stood there and paused a second, like, oh, are you really okay? I meant to hit you hard, but I didn't mean to hit you that hard. Uh, and then Ricky Starks nails him, and Brian Cage hits a power bomb in the ring, and they beat the crap out of him. It was a really good spot. So apparently Ricky Starks and has joined Brian Cage and Taz as part of a faction, a trio. I like that. I think it's a good addition to. If that's gonna be a trio, I think it could be really good. Um, Ricky Starks is awesome. He's got a lot of talent. Came from NWA. I liked him when I saw him in that briefly. He was really good. Got a promo, can wrestle. Got a lot of talent. Looks good. He's a good athlete, athletic. Um, yeah, so I liked it. I've heard that Darby Allin may have a concussion, so he'll be out hurt again. I hope it's not the case. Hopefully he's all right and he'll be back, as soon as possible. Um, yep. Also, I'm not really going in order. I'm just saying, I'm going to say random event. I'm going to just put the match in random. From Dynamite, in the main event, Jericho, Chris Jericho, and Jake Hager faced off against Jungle Boy Luchasaurus. Marco Stunt, Santana Ortiz, and Floyd. Jericho's bat was all at ringside. Um, it was a good match. Good to see Hager and Luchasaurus exchange blows. Was really good. Two big men that can really wrestle and fight. Go at it. It was good. Um, Jericho ended up getting a code breaker to win. Um, Serpentico got involved in the match, and he joined the inner circle. Um, I noticed he looked awfully familiar, and he looked kind of small. I said, I bet that, I don't think that's really Serpentico. I think that's Sammy Guevara. I said, that's just my guess. He went up to the top rope and did a shooting star press. And after he did that, I said, that's got to be Sammy Guevara. And as he was slowly starting to take his mask off, I said, that's Sammy Guevara. And he pulled his mask off, and lo and behold, it was Sammy Guevara. And he had his real, devilish smile. Uh, so I thought it was cool he was back and, joined in on the beatdown. And also, I thought it was cool if Jericho really didn't know that he was back. If it wasn't work, Jericho looked acted really surprised, and he kind of froze in a minute and just kind of, oh wow, like really? And then he just commenced to helping the beat down. So thought that was good. I'm glad Sammy Guevara is back. Uh, Also on Dynamite we had MJF. He came out and he faced a. I just say he's been a lot on Dark and he's been on BTE lately. He's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, not too far from me. Young guy. He looks like a young Chris Jericho. His name is Griff Garrison. Uh, Seems like this guy's got talent. He's very tough. I like his look. Um, he's athletic. Seems like he could be very good down the line. Hope he gets more. He'll get more experience and gets more opportunities and gets more TV time. I think he could be a good addition to AEW. Griff Garrison had a match with MJF. MJF pretty much insulted him and cut a promo. And even during the match, smacked him and said, "Tell me I'm undefeated and all this," because Garrison had made a crack saying, "Well, you're not undefeated because you lost a tag match at tag match." So that was funny. Um, Yeah. So we have the Young Bucks in a match against Butcher and the Blade. Falls Count Anywhere. I was really excited for this match. I thought this was a very good match, very fun. The Young Bucks showed did the flippy divey stuff, which I liked them too, but that style as well. But they showed a more serious, hardcore style. Um, and I really liked it. I thought they did a really good job. Blade and Butcher, as always, looks like a good team, and they wrestled good. Both teams wrestled good. Had a lot of good spots in it. Lots of cool moves, and it's funny they ended up in like a cafeteria, and the Butcher and the Blade was cutting meat up. And it was funny before the wrestling match. That before the match started, they actually Butcher and Blade washed their hands. I thought that was funny. Uh, then they start pounding each other, hitting each other with different stuff. Putting each other on tables, laying each other on tables. At one point, one of the Jacksons, I think it was Nick, was throwing one of them and hitting Butcher or the Blade one with meats, different meats. The meat that they cut, they was hitting them with it. I thought that was funny. Um, Matt Jackson used the cookie sheet as a for jumping senton. They did a double super kick on Blade to the escalator. I thought was cool. Um, they also fought outside in the parking lot and like the tractor trailer trucks. One of the either the Butcher or the Blade picked up. I think it was one of the Bucks, and they picked him up and they kind of threw him over their shoulder and launched him like a dart. And whoever Jackson it was, his face was on the also on the trailer when they threw him into it. I thought that was funny, a nice little touch, something cool. They also fought all the way back into the arena. Um, Butcher had a running crossbody to Matt through a leaning table. Uh, Butcher and Blade did a power bomb network combo to Matt on the stage. And my favorite part of the match was the finish. They did the Young Bucks did double leaps off tables in unison at the same time. One did an elbow drop, the other one did a swanton bomb. And the Bucks double pinned, and they both got a pin for the win. I liked it. Um, we also had a Divas match. Diamante, I've seen her wrestle some on Dark and some on AEW. I like her; she's pretty good. And Ivelisse, Ivelisse used to be in Lucha Underground. I liked her then. For some reason, I think she made comments in the past or got somewhat of a reputation, and people just didn't want to fool with her or didn't want no part of her. I'm glad AEW gave her a chance and hope she gets more chances. And I hope AEW was signed her full time. She could be a big, I think she could be a big boost to the women's roster. She's got a lot of talent. I think she's pretty and athletic, and I like the way she wrestles. This match wasn't a great match by any means, but I mean it wasn't a terrible match. It was a good match, and Ava liked Diamante getting the win. I was surprised she got the win, and the way she did it with a quick roll up, I thought it was a nice little touch. Something different. I liked it. Now the match we have. Um, we have a Hangman Page match. Uh, he went up against one of the Dark Orders, Alan Angels. This was a good match, a squash match. Alan Angels has looked good on Dark in his regular other matches he's had in AEW. Um, I want to say he's trained by QT Marshall at his school. They done that couple shows at QT Marshall's gym or whatever for Dynamite, and that's where he come from. He's got talent. He's very tough. He could be very good eventually. Get more experience and more time and more opportunities. Um, Hangman Page, I thought, looked really good in this match. It was a nice squash match. Just helped build him up more. So I liked it. Um, I liked how Brody Lee and Colt Cabana had come out and then they left before Brody Lee sicked the rest of the Dark Order on Page after the match. And as Page was getting beat up, I liked how he was kind of getting beat up, how he wasn't dominating, five guys by himself. I thought that was good. Um, It was interesting how the FTR came out and handed Hangman a beer, and Omega had also come out last. I like that. I guess to try to build the feud more for the Omega heel turn or the Hangman heel turn. Originally, I thought it was going to be Hangman turns heel, but I believe it's going to be Omega that turns heel on Hangman and splits them up. I like how they keep building that. I kind of like how they've not went ahead and just done the heel turn. I like how they've had a slow build. I like it because you don't know when to expect it's going to happen. You think it's going to happen, this certain night, this certain time, and it doesn't happen. So it just keeps you guessing and wondering. I liked it. Um, Also, I liked Britt Baker's promo. She does really good promos. She's beautiful. Uh, I think she's gotten better as a wrestler. The more she's wrestled, the more experience she's got. She's been out for several months. I think she tore ACL. Um, or injured her ACL. She did say, and I'd heard rumors, but she said during this promo at the end that she will be back at All Out on September 5th. So I'm excited to see her back. That'll be a big boost for the women's division. Um, but she had a really funny promo and talking about her comebacks, and she was talking about other athletes and other sports that had comebacks, and she started talking about Michael Jordan and how his comebacks and how great he was. And she also turned it about his last comeback with the Wizards, and I thought Taylor Schiavone had a nice little jab in there. He said, Britt, I'm just saying, he said, I don't know if you'd really call MJ's comeback with the Wizards great, considering how they never made a playoff run. They've never been in the playoffs. And she just kind of was like, shut up, Tony, or something like that. And that was funny. I also like towards the end of the promo how Rebecca said she was Michael Jordan. I thought that was funny. So, yes, I liked her pay per view. I mean, her promo. Uh, Also, during this program, they did a commercial. They're going to have an 18 women's tag team tournament playing for the summer. I think that'll be good. It's called the Daily Draw. And the prize couple figure that's really cool. Chris Jericho cut a funny promo backstage where he talked about he ruined Dr. Cage's career and he wore his suit from last week covered in orange. I thought it was funny. Uh, Big Swole cut a quick promo on Dr. Britt Baker about how her actions have consequences. That soon later they would meet in the ring. Swole was still at home on her suspension. Uh, Also, I wanted to say I forgot to mention this earlier, but during the Hangman, Colt Cabana, Dark Order, all that stuff, they kept showing Matt Hardy in the audience. I thought that was a nice little touch, interesting. I'm not sure what that was, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Also, I think probably one of my favorite parts of the night was Lance Archer. Uh, the camera cut back and they was in like a locker room, and it was Lance Archer. And he walked in, and Jake was falling behind him, and Lance Archer just beat the crap out of all these four guys in the locker room. It's like 4 or 5 guys. Lance Archer just beat one of them right after one after the other. He threw one in the trash can. He took one, picked him up, and slung him up in the air, and threw him up and so high and hit him so hard he knocked the talent off of the roof. I thought it was really cool, really funny. And as he was talking, as he was whooping people, Jake Plummer was also cutting a promo. So I just thought at the same time, so I just thought it was really cool. I just thought it was really funny, really cool. Made the Lance Archer look like a beast, like he should look. Um, yep. So I thought this was a really good episode of AEW. One could argue this might be the best episode they've had since the pandemic. It was very good. I just highly love AEW. I look forward to it. I mean, every Wednesday night. And make a statement here about AEW. It's going to be slightly controversial. to a lot of people, but I still watch WWE and still support it, and I hope they do good. I don't like to see WWE do this bad. I want to see them do well, but they just gotten so bad. I don't know if they're ever going to be good again. And a lot of people still say, even the older people, older West fans, WWE is still the top promotion in the top present promotion in the world, and I'd like to strongly disagree with that. I know AEW has been around for only 1 year. I know that's not everybody's, and not everybody likes it. Don't like the booking, don't like the matches, don't like the talent they have, don't like the promos, and just the different things they try to do and stuff they promote. But I just really like it, and I just think it's call me crazy. I might be the only person out there, but I just think it's 100 times better than WWE, especially what WWE's doing now. I just think it's top to bottom better than WWE in every way. I even think the wrestling's better. Um, I definitely think the booking's better. I like the storylines better. I kind of like how AEW doesn't always explain stuff. They kind of leave some stuff up in the air sometimes for you to draw your own conclusions. They don't try to explain everything and give an explanation for everything all the time. WWE does, and I just think it makes WWE look and sound more just fake and dumb, and it just makes WWE sound more complicated and stupid and convoluted. And I just think it hurts WWE more when they try to explain stuff than it cannot explain stuff. So I just want to say that. I also think that because I watch other wrestling besides AEW and WWE, I also think MLW is very good, Major League Wrestling. You can watch it on beIN Sports, and you can also watch it on every Saturday night on YouTube. Since the pandemic, they've taken breaks, but they're showing the old episodes right now. They're not showing the new episodes, what they call fusion, but they're showing the old episodes, and they're very good as well. MLW is run by a guy named Court Bauer. He used to work for WWE. So it's all. I didn't know this till they started doing the showing the old shows last week or so. But they've actually been around for like 10 or 20 years. And Dusty Rhodes has been in the organization. A lot of former ECW guys. Joey Styles was commentating for them at one time. Um, so they have a lot of talent now that's in MLW that's really good. A lot of talent that's in AEW also that's in AEW now also came from MLW originally. MJF, uh, Jimmy Havoc, people like that. Uh, yes, I think MLW is even better than WWE in my opinion. I like Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, I like it, but I go through periods with it where I like it a lot, and then it gets bad all of a sudden, and I just quit watching it for a while. I take a break from it, and I go back to when it's good again. Right now, it's good again, even though they've only been showing old like match anthologies because of the pandemic. I like it. I think Marty Scurll as a booker, since he's been hired as a booker, has done a good job. I think they've done a good job of doing less stupid stuff than they used to do, and they're having always having some new talent. And I just think when their wrestling matches, Ring of Honor is very good. Their wrestling is really good. Chris Coleman's one of my favorite commentators in wrestling. I think he calls good matches and great matches, and seems to get you invested, excited in the match because he seems to get excited and invested in the match itself. And I like Ring of Honor. I'm also a big New Japan Wrestling fan. I have New Japan Pro Wrestling World. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes. I like NXT. I do not like Impact at all. I never have, even when it was TNA and they had Hogan and Bischoff and Beer Money, Bobby Roode, and James Storm. I just never AJ Styles. I just never liked TNA Impact. I've only watched it a few times. I was a fan of Impact a few years ago. I watched it for a few weeks when they brought Kurt Angle in and he was like running it on screen for a little while. I watched it for a few months and I liked it. That's when they brought Drew McIntyre from WWE He's back with them now, but he had got fired from WWE, and he went by his real name, Drew Galloway, and he had his stable with called The Rising in Impact. It was really good. It was him and Eli Drake, and I forget somebody else. And that's when it was very good. It was Impact was very good for a few months, and then all of a sudden it just went downhill and got terrible again, and I quit watching. Um, Recently, a couple months ago, they started making changes again when they had new management, new owners and stuff eventually, and they brought in some talent. Michael Elgin from New Japan, Tessa Blanchard. So, they might have something here. I might watch it. It might be good. And they had some hype around them, and I watched it a little bit, and it was good. Stuff they did with Tessa was good, even though, she was beating up men. I liked it, you know. I watched it up until she won the championship, and I was glad that she won. I thought it was something different, but soon after that, it just got terrible. I did like her defense and all, and her rival with Sammy Callahan. I thought that was good, but slowly after that, Impact just got terrible again and unwatchable, and it's unwatchable now. They're doing what WWE done from the beginning of the pandemic, not having running shows with no fans and audience. It's just stupid, and terrible. Uh, they fired Tessa Blanchard. They've got rid of Michael Elgin. Joey Ryan got in some trouble and they released him, Uh, then they went out and got, EC3 back. They got Eric Young back. Uh, Also surprised that they got Motor City Machine Guns back, which I thought was good. Um, they got Heath Slater from WWE, so they made a few good signs, but nothing really impactful, nothing great. I still don't understand why any wrestler that wants to be at least even get money, or at least be noticeable, go to Impact. I mean, Impact's just a terrible company they always have been. They just don't know what they're doing. I've never hardly liked any of the wrestling. The wrestling is just terrible. Even when they have good wrestlers in it, it's just storylines and everything just terrible. Uh, WWE has gotten really, really bad, but it hasn't gotten to Impact level yet. But if they keep going the way they're going, it's going to get worse. Uh, yeah. So that's just my quick thoughts on the wrestling and other organizations. I also want to just say a couple quick points pertaining to AEW really quick before I go into NXT. Uh, NXT part of the show, of my show. One of the podcasts I listened to recently was talking about Omega, Kenny Omega, and a lot of older people, a lot of his critics just don't like Kenny Omega. I love Jim Cornette. I listen to his podcast every week, both his shows. He's a wrestling genius. He's a legend. Great commentator. He was a great manager. Great on screen. Very smart. Knows his wrestling. I mean, he's a wrestling genius. He knows what he's talking about. But I respectfully disagree with his opinions on modern pro wrestling. He constantly takes shots week after week on AEW. He talks awful about Kenny Omega. Talks terrible about the Young Bucks. Terrible about indie wrestlers. Terrible about Marco Stunt. Terrible about small wrestlers in general. I just don't agree with a lot of his most of his stuff on modern wrestling. Um, a lot of people just don't like Kenny Omega. Basically, really because of what Cornette said. Cornette claims he's goofy. He acts like goody two shoes, a weirdo, arty farty. He does jazz hands where he does little hand motions sometime during his matches, but I think it's just part he just tries to add some character and it doesn't bother me as much. He hasn't done that a whole lot used lately like he used to do when he first got in AEW. Yes. Um, in my opinion, I don't care what anybody says. To me, Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it's to me it's undisputable. You can't deny it. I don't care what anybody says. When he was in New Japan, he was amazing. Um, I think he also come out and said he didn't want to right away in AEW. He didn't want to take chances away from everybody, take the spotlight away from people. So he kind of took a back seat and gave the spotlight to other guys, pushed it to other guys. So that's why he hadn't been the cleaner and that superstar he was in Japan. I think here now you're gonna see why. I think he's gonna start slowly get back to his cleaner, that great Kenny Omega match he put in Japan. I think you're gonna see that very soon in AEW, if not sooner. I'm excited about that. Um, Truly, even if he doesn't, and if he's the same as he is now, he never gets back to that great uh, best stop machine, best wrestler in the world uh, title he had in back in New Japan. I'm perfectly fine. His work in New Japan was legendary. Mainly his matches, rivalry with Okada was absolutely amazing. Two of the best wrestling matches I ever seen, and just honestly, in my opinion, just those two matches alone solidified Kenny Omega as a great wrestler, one of the best ever, automatically in my opinion. Yeah, so that's my opinion on him. And really quickly before I go into NXT, I just want to say a lot of people also have negative comments about Marco Stunt. I know Marco is very little, but I think he's very athletic. And he's got a lot of heart, and he doesn't back down. He'll fight any wrestler. He'll take on anybody. He'll stand toe to toe with anybody. Um, I also like the fact that he pretty much will do anything you ask of him. He'll take any bump. He's took some crazy bumps in AEW, just terrible stuff. I mean, uh, the match at the Stadium Stampede, those who hadn't seen it at the end, it was a great match. I loved it personally. But Kenny Omega done the one. Well, no, I'm sorry, that was Sammy Guevara done that. But also, Sammy Guevara took some huge bumps too. Him and Marco Stunt and him and Marco Stunt take a lot of just, and Darby Allin take a lot of huge bumps in AEW, and I respect them for that. Uh, but as I said about Marco Stunt, a bump he took recently against Omega when Omega did the one ring angel on him in the ring, and it looked really rough. I was surprised Marco Stunt took that bump, but yes. Also, and about Marco Stunt, I want to say small guys can exist in professional wrestling. That's, for my example, it's just my example. Um, for those who know what ECW is, sure a lot of wrestling fans do. It was a popular wrestling promotion back in the 90s. Paul Heyman was the main creative genius behind it. Uh, Paul Heyman, who works in WWE now and also the manager of Butler, yes, that same Paul Heyman. And, it was a more hardcore, edgy style, controversial style for a long time. Definitely not for kids. Um, But back in ECW, there was a guy by the name of Mikey Whipwreck. And if I'm not mistaken, Paul Heyman talked about it, covered it on the DVD, The Rise and Fall of ECW. If you've never seen that documentary, I suggest you watch it. It's very good. Um, Anyways, you're going to say that Mikey Whipwreck was a part of the road crew or the ring crew for ECW. He would go around helping people set up the ring. Eventually, he wanted to wrestle, so they trained him. They put him in the wrestling ring and trained him for months to wrestle. Um, Paul Heyman's idea for his character was to not give him a single move set, not to give him no moves at all, no move set. So he would go into matches with people and basically get his butt kicked every match. I mean, all the time. He would get hit with stuff, get hit with this and that, get dropped on his head, busted open, hit with steel chairs. Didn't matter. People started loving him. He became a fan favorite. He took a beating like Mick Foley would used to. I mean, he would just take a beat. Eventually, of course, over time they gave him moves, and he ended up becoming a pretty good wrestler. And his ECW legend was a ECW fan favorite, ECW legend, and fans loved him. And he's Michael, he's great. I've always liked him. He's a talent. So for people to say people like also Spike Dudley in ECW, he was a little guy. Um, I mean, he could wrestle circles around most people. I mean, he could wrestle anybody, big guys, small guys, it didn't matter. Could bust him open, hit him with stuff, he would just keep coming. I mean, he could wrestle, move his way around that ring. He could hang with anybody. I've seen him hit the that bulldog finisher that he does, like springboard bulldog, the acid bulldog off of the ropes. I've seen him do that to, I believe it was Mike Awesome. I think maybe even the Big Show and when he was in WWE. I want to say he did a TM. Yeah, so I just want to say use Mike Rip and Spike Dudley as examples to Marco Stunt, saying that small guys do deserve a place in professional wrestling. They deserve it, and Marco Stunt is a talent, and he does have talent. And people give Marco Stunt a bad name and a bad rep, and I just don't think it's right. I just don't agree. Also, very quickly before I talk about NXT, I want to mention the character of uh, Orange Cassidy. A lot of people, even a lot of hardcore wrestling fans, AEW fans, always down Orange Cassidy. Always had when they first signed him. Thought he was a joke. Say he was an embarrassment to pro wrestling. Jim Cornette hates and loves to say that. Says he's just awful. When he first signed to AEW, it was funny about it. Honestly, understanding, he'd come out there and play kick. I just didn't understand. Thought it was funny, but I didn't understand. I just thought, honestly, it was just, just for comedians, just to, make an appearance, get people laughing, and have somebody to get beat up, for the heels to beat up on, or the good guys to get a quick beat down on to make them look good. I just thought that was. I didn't know if he could really wrestle or not. Uh, I had heard that he was popular on the indies, so I went to YouTube and started watching some of his indie matches. Uh, the guy has talent. He can wrestle. He actually came from the Chicago promotion that shut down recently. That's more like a lucha style. But he's the whole thing about what people don't understand about Orange Cassidy. His character is they call him the king of sloth style. Sloth means lazy. So his character is lazy. He pretends like he doesn't care. He doesn't cut promos. He doesn't talk. He kind of come out there with his hand in his pockets. His wears sunglasses. His attire looks like he doesn't care. He's laid back, cool, like a hippie, like he don't care about anything. He only ever takes the glasses off. Um, but if you watch his indie match, he can wrestle, and that's part of his character. He pretends to not care, pretends to not know how to wrestle, to trick a lot of his opponents sometimes, and gets his opponent off guard and gets his opponents to underestimate him. And he eventually, when he does wrestle and turns it on, he can really move and fly around the ring, and he can go with anybody. And he's very tough, and he has a lot of cool moves. That's what you get to see of him now more in AEW. I think they've even done a better job of that in AEW than they have done with his indie matches, where they're actually letting him wrestle a lot more than in his indie matches. So, Orange Cassidy is a comedy act, and it's okay. Comedy acts, wrestling has always had outlandish characters, over the top characters, um, since forever. WWE has had a lot of them. Um, for instance, for example, Doink the Clown, uh, the Red Rooster, even though I think he got screwed, he was a very good wrestler from what I've heard and what I've seen Terry Taylor. The Goblin Gooker, uh, Giant Gonzalez, the Hurricane. I always liked him. He had a lot of talent. Was a good wrestler. Um, the Headbangers were crazy characters. I always liked them, but they weren't very good wrestlers, and they. A lot of people say they're the worst tag team of all time, but they were memorable. Uh, Gosh, I mean, on and on. I can just name you a list of just crazy characters and stuff that was ridiculous and everything. The Shockmaster. Uh, so for people to say that, and by the way, I just want to say, WWE, I'd be so glad when they get rid of that 24/7 title crap. I love R-Truth personally. Always liked him. He's really a good wrestler, a really good guy, very entertaining. He makes the 24/7 as entertaining as it is. I think he's the only one that can do it. That's why they give him all that stupid stuff. Because I know he's probably the only one that can pull it off, or even make some of it funny, or make you laugh, make some of it entertaining. But they really need to get rid of this 24/7 title mess. I'm sorry. It's just, the whole thing is ridiculous and stupid. And I just want to say for people also, Jim Cornette especially, who complains about Orange Cassidy matches or anything like that, or even Marco Stunt matches. Um, a while back, recently, I believe it was one of the Bush brothers in NASCAR, a race car driver. Uh, I believe it was Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was on Raw at ringside in the crowd in the front row. They showed him, at ringside. He went on to pin R-Truth at ringside in a roll-up and became 24/7 champion. Yes, you heard me. Kyle Busch, a race car driver, not even a wrestler. Never wrestled a day in his life. I don't even know if he likes wrestling. Didn't know he liked to watch wrestling. I don't even know if he knows what wrestling is or who R-Truth is. He won the 24/7 title. That's ridiculous. Stupid. So it's okay if they do that and do that mess, but it's an embarrassment to pro wrestling if a guy like Orange Cassidy who has talent and can wrestles, and a guy like Marco Stunt, even though he's little and has talent and wrestles, they're embarrassments and they shouldn't be allowed to drive and make a living or shouldn't be able to wrestle, or get any opportunity to get any exposure on TV whatsoever. But it's okay for somebody like Kyle Busch to win the WWE 24/7 title. I just think that I'm sorry, I just don't understand that, and I just don't understand all the hate and all the um, people who hate on AEW and the Orange Cassidy's, the Marco Stunts. I just don't understand. That makes no sense. But yes. All right, so that clears up all my AEW talk. Now on to the NXT review, the NXT side of things. So hang on. Uh, Here I go. I'll go over it very, very quickly. Um, Hang on, let me get the results very quick. Um, I just want to say too, this NXT show, it wasn't a bad show. It was okay, good, decent. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't terrible. It was just a decent, uh, consistent episode. It was nothing special. Um, all right. So I'm gonna breeze for this quickly. There really wasn't a whole lot to talk about regarding NXT, really. Um, Dexter Loomis faced Killian Dane. This was a good match. Dexter Loomis beat him, choked him out. Um, Next, we got a video package of Dakota Kai. She was taunting Io Shirai. Um, Now we have a tag team match of Everrise and Bazongo. I thought this was a good match. I've liked how since Bazongo's been back in NXT, here lately they've been giving Bazongo a push, and I'm glad they're giving them somewhat of a push. And I hope like to see Bazongo get a really good title run as a tag team. I think that both of those guys deserve it, especially Tyler Breeze. He's somebody who I always thought's been underutilized in WWE. And Fandango, yes, his character has always been dumb, but the guy really can wrestle, I think. I think he's a good wrestler. Um, Next, we have Aaliyah versus Shotzi Blackheart. I like both of these people. Shotzi Blackheart won, and she also did that thing when she ran over Robert Stone again with his foot, with his leg, with her tank again. I thought that was pretty funny. Stupid but funny. Um, we get a video package from Swerve Scott. Kill shot from Lucha Underground. Next, we have a triple threat ladder match qualifier. This was a good match. Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Roderick Strong. As you know, I've told you many times I love Roderick Strong, and Johnny Gargano is my favorite wrestler in NXT. I don't care much for Bronson Reed. He's okay. I just don't care for him. I didn't get into him much. Thought this was a good match, and was hoping Johnny Gargano was going to win, and I thought he was, and I liked how Bronson Reed waited for his opportunity and swooped in and got the win at the end. Thought it was surprising. I was kind of surprised, but I liked it. Um, Next, we have Timothy Thatcher versus Oney Lorcan. This was a good match. I like both of these guys. I've liked Timothy Thatcher since he was in MLW and since he came to NXT. Good wrestler. And Oney Lorcan works hard and he really hits hard. I like him. So, yep, Timothy Thatcher won, and that was that. Um, Next, we have the main event. Karen Cross versus Dominic Dijakovic. I think this is the best anybody has pushed Karen Cross since he's been in NXT. As usual, I love Karen Cross's entrance and split up with his girlfriend Scarlett. And I must say that Scarlett Bordeaux is the hottest, most beautiful woman wrestler in wrestling. Uh, has been since I first saw her in Impact. I mean, she's amazing, beautiful. I hope to see her wrestle soon in NXT. I love her. It's always great seeing her. And Karen Cross is a lucky man. And I wish I was with Scarlett Bordeaux, but it's never going to happen. But a man can dream. Uh, so now to the match of Karen Cross versus Dijakovic. This was a very good match. Hard hitting. Uh, had some good action in it. Uh, Toward the end of the match, Keith Lee came out to ringside and actually got to the ropes and got in the face of Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross made the point to put Dijakovic in that straight jacket choke and choke out Dijakovic slowly. And while he's doing that, he made sure to do it in front of Keith Lee and look Keith Lee, try to intimidate Keith Lee. I thought that was a nice touch, so I liked it. Yep. So that was my quick. It was a good NXT show, a decent show. Nowhere near as good as AEW. AEW was by far the better show again, and it has been for a long time. NXT is still good, but I don't think it'll be as good as it once was because Vince is running it now, having more input now. Uh, Ever since they've came to USA and added an hour to it and tried to compete with AEW, I think it's really hurt NXT honestly more than it's helped them. I think NXT was a lot better when it was an hour shorter and it was just on the WWE Network. I think it was a lot better. I know it sounds weird to say, but that's just my opinion. That's the truth, I think. Yep. So anyway, that's been my wrestling review for this week, for this week's episode. I hope everybody liked it, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Uh, as always, I'll be back again next week for the next set of reviews for AEW and wrestling talk. Yep, so that's the end of this episode. So I hope everybody liked it and enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Happy wrestling, everybody. Bye.